I'm back. I'm ready to read you another story. Today we're supposed to be reading a book about a forest animal because our theme is forest animals. I've had a hard time trying to find good books around my house. We have most of our good stuff at school, but I was able to manage to find one that I think will work for today. It's called The Hat and is by Jan Brett. And if this sounds familiar to you, or if the illustrations look familiar to you, it's because we have read a couple of her stories this year at school. If you can think back to when we did all of our gingerbread stuff, we read Gingerbread Baby and Gingerbread Friends, and then Gingerbread Christmas. And back in January, I think we read The Mitten. So I think that you'll notice some similarities in her style of writing when we read this story. So let's get started. The Hat. The Hat by Jan Brett. If you're wondering what's wrong with my book, my dog got a hold of it. Thankfully, we were able to stop him before he destroyed it. Silly dog. Are you guys noticing that she's got pictures on the sides of the story, just like she did in the other ones? They kind of give us a clue as to what might be happening next on the next page. So keep your eye out for that. All right, let's get started. Sorry, guys. Here we go. Winter was on the way. Lisa took her woolen clothes out of the chest and carried them outside. So this time the character in this story is a girl. Maddie was our character a lot in the other stories. She was hanging them up in the fresh air when a strong wind blew one of her stockings off the line. Does anybody know what a stocking is? Can you check it out? Can you see what's falling off of the clothesline? It's a sock. Do you notice what is this? Curious Hedgie found it and poked his nose in. When he pulled it out, the stocking was stuck on his prickles. How embarrassing, Hedgie thought. The mother hen came by with her chicks. Cackle, cackle, she clucked and laughed. What's that on your head, Hedgie? Why, it's my new hat, he told her. Isn't it beautiful? The mother hen cocked her head as if she had an idea, and off she ran. Hedgie saw the noisy gander looking down at him. Honk, honk, ho, ho, ho. The gander laughed. Look at that! The hedgehog has flipped his gizzard. Laugh today, gander, but tomorrow when it rains, my hat will keep me dry. The gander thought for a moment, and off he ran. I wonder where they're all running to and what they're up to. The barn cat was watching from a tree as Hedgie tugged at the stocking. Meow, he called down. What a silly-looking hedgehog you are with that thing on your head. But my ears will be warm in a snowstorm. Purred the cat, and off he ran. Does anyone notice this really cool illustration that's up at the top of the story frame? It's the clothesline of Lisa's clothes. Wonder if that has anything to do with the story. The farm dog and her puppies found Hedgie in a patch of brambles. "Hedgie, is that a hat you're wearing? How funny you look," she barked, and her puppies yelped and giggled. "But I'll be cozy and dry when it snows," Hedgie said. The farm dog's ears perked up, and off she ran. You see the clothesline? Does it look different? "Oink, oink," the piglet squealed. "What are you up to, Hedgie?" the mama pig asked. "Making sure my hat doesn't fall off and an icy wind blows up." "I see," said the mama pig, and off she ran. "Hedgie, what is that ridiculous thing on your head?" the pony snorted at Hedgie. That was the last straw. "It's my hat, of course. Don't you know that everyone should wear a hat in winter when it's cold and snowy?" Hedgie shouted. The pony looked startled. Hedgie was usually so friendly. And off he ran. Hedgie just wanted to be alone. He was tired of everyone laughing at him. And with this thing on his head, he wouldn't even fit in his den. Poor Hedgie. Oh my goodness, look at that clothesline. Where did all the clothes go? He didn't see Lisa running after him, the other stocking in her hand. "Come back, you silly hedgehog," she called. "Oh no," Hedgie thought, "even the girl is laughing at me." Do you think that Lisa's laughing at Hedgie? Lisa caught up and pulled her stocking off Hedgie's head. "You ridiculous little hedgehog," she laughed. "Don't you know that animals don't wear clothes?" Hedgie headed for his den, and Lisa started back toward the clothesline. That's when she saw all of her missing woolens. Friends, where did all of her clothes go? Do you have a good prediction? Tell me now. What do you think's happening here? Where did all the clothes go? You ready? The animals had taken them, and each one was thinking, "Now I am wearing a magnificent hat." I think the hen looks hilarious. Pig looks pretty silly too. How do you think Lisa feels? Pretty surprised? Lisa was still chasing them when Hedgie reached his den. "How ridiculous they look. Don't they know that animals should never wear clothes?" The end. So fun. What a fun story. So on our lesson plans today, it said that we were supposed to talk about the events in the story. So the events are the important things that happen in the story that make it the story. So can you think of some of the events that happened? See if you can name a couple. One. Can you remember the very first thing that happened? It's right here on the cover. Hedgie gets a stocking stuck on his head, doesn't he? So that's one of the first events that happens. And then what else happens? He runs into an animal, and the animal makes fun of his hat. And then the animal realizes that maybe he has a good idea, and the animal goes and gets something off of Lisa's clothesline, right? And then Hedgie runs into another animal, and the same thing happens. And then Hedgie he runs into another animal, and the same thing happens. They all keep making fun of his hat, but then they realize, well, maybe he actually has a good idea here. So, is there a pattern in the story? Yes, there's a pattern in the story, and it's predictable, so we can kind of guess what's going to happen on the next page because it keeps happening and has happened before. So, the first event, Hedgie gets this stuck on his head. Or maybe we should go back even further. Maybe the first event is that Lisa gets all of her woolens out, all of her winter clothes, and she goes and hangs them on the line, probably to air them out because they've been packed away. And so if that doesn't happen, then this can't happen. So maybe the first event should be that Lisa gets all of her clothes out and then puts them on the line. And then this can maybe be the second event. And then all of the other animals make up the rest of the events. And then what happened last? The very last thing that happens, which is pretty funny. All of the animals are being chased by Lisa, who's trying to get all of her clothes back, right? And does Hedgie finally get to have the last laugh? How silly all those animals look with all those clothes on their heads. All right. Okay, friends, good job. When you're reading other stories, I would like you to try and identify the events in the story that make the story the story. All right, I hope you have a good day. I'll see you later. Bye.